Hello everybody, this is Capes Games, and welcome back to another Crossout developer blog review. And as always, as first, I want to remind you that developer blogs tells the players about preliminary plans of the development of the project. Final version might differ from the changes described above. So this is not yet set in stone, but it's very likely that it's going to happen. Other than that, I want to notify you guys, I got a new microphone. Please comment down below what you guys think about the volume and how it sounds in general. I'm still playing around with like the volume a little bit, so if the volume is off, I'm sorry for that. So this is actually a lot of balance changes coming in. So this is change of bar balance and explosion mechanics. So there are quite a lot of changes here. The first one is a change to cabins. Because right now, to the high torrents or high amounts of energies, heavy cabins are the basic basis and like the most used thing for most builds in medium and high power score. And this is mainly because of low variety of armored vehicles in battles. Purpose of future changes is to make builds based on heavy cabins take the role of tanks, and the lighter armored cars should especially dealing damage. So they're gonna give all cabins like into three types with corresponding energy values and make them equally attractive for players. So you've got light cabins that are gonna have 11 units, like instead of like let's say the grow cabin. The grow cabin currently has 9 and will be upgraded to 11. Medium cabins with mostly 10 energy units will stay mostly the same, and all the heavy ones that get increased tonnage apparently, so you can get even heavier rides with them now. Will only have 9 energy units, and all cabins of also this is note these are all like rare cabins. The normal ones will have probably lower energy, and all cabins of epic rarity get 2 more energy units. So probably we'll have basically see like the humpback having 11, and the quantum having either 12 or maybe even possibly 13. It's possible that we might have a 13 energy cap now, because if the quantum is gonna taken like as a as an light cabin, and it's gonna give an the 11, that might also explain the 12 energy on the new tarantula cap, because it's faster than the like the humpback. That basically has it might have like the 12 energy roll, and take the quantum have 13 energy, but maybe like decreased tonnage, because otherwise we can get 17 energy on one single build, which is quite a ridiculous amount. So now different types should be equal in efficiency. Builds based on light cabins can do a lot of damage, but when able to surround themselves with additional armor, while heavy cross, although may suffer total firepower, they can eliminate several times more structural points than the other armored vehicles. To the developers, if you were watching this, I do want to point out that armor is still kind of underpowered in this game, and I do still suggest you guys add something like having if you have more health on your vehicle, that you get like the health of the weapons get like boosted a little bit. So basically, let's say 1% of your total health, or let's say like no, actually no, that's a little bit low. Let's say 5 to 10% of your own like rig, the total health will be also be added to every weapon or something like that. So like weapons get a little bit tougher overall, which would improve like heavier builds, because most of the time they get disarmed before they can like do much. So that's a kind of a downside. There's also a change in structure parts right now as well. So a basis on any armored car, the frames will initially build to be quite strong. However, due to the fact that frames will give additional structure points, it can possibly assemble an armored car from the frames alone without using structural details. Should build have almost as much structure as the others, however, it's much more difficult to destroy them. So frames will no longer increase overall structure of the armored car, so it will no longer add health to the cabin. And structure of all cabins will in return be increased by 170 points. So all cabins will be tougher in return of that the frames do not longer add health. So basically, this is basically the nerf for frame builds. So frame builds will finally be gone, and we'll finally get some better meta like out there for medium stuff, like the medium power score. So parameter of light frames will also be changed in accordance with overall balance paradigm. The characteristics will change insignificantly, but now the structure and mass ratio can be understood from game prompts. Thanks to the change, the roles of frames and structure parts will cease to overlap. Frames will be needed to create a solid foundation of a craft, as structure parts to increase its survivability. Now wheels. Sometimes will clearly stand out from the others as they have high tonnage and structure, but do not have any disadvantages. But like the players who want to use more types of wheels that match an individual style of play. In this case, tracks remain too specific to current characteristics and a strong priority to speed. This makes their use in combat quite limited and not very effective. So light wheels will take up little power but have low tonnage, and heavy wheels will use a lot of power. So basically, you can if you with small wheels or light wheels, like say studded wheels or chained wheels, you can use a lot of them without losing much acceleration. While using, for example, large wheels, you can only use a few of them. So if you want to be like have a few wheels with high tonnage, and like save on parts used, that's one option. Or if you want to be more like be able to drive for longer because you do not lose that many wheels, or I mean if you lose wheels you can like have more of them in return, then you can use small wheels. Also being changed to engine, so this kind of neglects what I told you guys about the full guide to like cabins engines. I know I have to like exactly research what is gonna be the exact change, and I also have to say this ride looks sick. Oh, that's aside. So it's gotta be a very significant change right here, and that's a little bit of a heads up. So if you are like taking like currently working everything out from like the engine video I did recently, this is gonna change quite a lot with the following update. So now engines can now give the player an incorrect idea of the bonus to speed that he receives after installing it. At the same time, the ratio of required energy and the resulting tonnage for different engine is very different. Now the engine installed on an armored car will not replace the engine built into the cabin, but increase its speed and power by appropriate values. Um, I've personally noticed its speed properly. So maybe with like let's say the improved engine, it is capable of increasing the maximum speed of a vehicle. That would actually be really cool. So after updates, engine will be strictly divided into two types. Universal engines will give a slight decrease of power and speed, but will not require energy. Fast engines will increase speed and tonnage of armored vehicles. Heavy engines will significantly increase critical mass and engine power. So also fast engines will also increase tonnage apparently. Like the normal engines currently do not increase tonnage. So that is going to be a pretty interesting change. And this is actually going to change a lot in this game. And epic engines will work on the same principle as the rare ones, but they have improved statistics and unique additional abilities. Um, they also and unique additional abilities. It might be that actually their special abilities will be changed. That will also be like a big game changer. So if you're currently looking at getting an engine, I strongly suggest waiting for a moment and taking a look at what it will become. Same with wheels, same with cabins. Like just give it a moment, take a look because the balance will change quite a lot right now. And finally, explosive mechanics, which will fix a lot of problems with a lot of the explosive weapons, like the tsunami cannon being, if it gets a cabin hit, dealing such a high amount of damage, but hitting like normal armor doing almost nothing. This will be like kind of improving that. At the moment, due to technical limitation, explosions in the game are fragmentary. Fragments fly in different directions and affect only those objects that they hit. These explosions were often unpredictable and it was hard to hit objects with an indirect hit. And also to shoot down small objects such as drones and turrets was also very hard. The new system will be closer to the one originally planned. Now the explosion will affect the objects depending on their proximity from the epicenter. The maximum damage will be achieved at the epicenter of the explosion and fall away as you move away from the center of the explosion. Even an indirect hit will now deal damage to targeting within the range of damage. And they are probably gonna, with that, buff the like explosion radius of cannons as well. So they're gonna be, even if you miss, like they're gonna be a little bit more forgiving, which actually it is also like a big game changer as well. So basically, if this all comes in one update, that one update is gonna change the balance of the entire game. So currently we got at high tier you mainly see hovers with tsunamis or quasar or like hammerfall or maybe like twin mandrakes from time to time. You don't see those that often because they're less efficient, especially now against hovers. But that's what you will mainly see. With the improvements of tracks and wheels, they will probably increase the amount of like tracks and wheel users. And with the new changes in cabins, it will mean that the although right now, because of the high amount of usage of light cabins, I am a little bit afraid because light cabins might get like if the quantum gets a higher energy yield, it might get a little bit powerful because of the hovers like how it works. Because hovers neglect the need of armor, and this might strong on the hover chains as well. But I'm sure they have like something thought up for that. And again, this is like just fixing the frame builds. This is just yeah engine change. This will also like change how like maybe even which I really hope like the ability to add maybe like multiple engines, because if you only have like one heavy engine and you really need more critical mass for get like your track units up, that would be like really nice. Or like allow on a heavy cabin to be like allowing two engines or three engines, and then medium cabin two engines, and then light cabin one engine or something. That would also be like very interesting on like what is this. And yeah, the exposure it's just like fixing it, really, just fixing the weapons. But that said, this is all I'm gonna show off for this episode. Soon after this, I'll be getting a Crossout, and I will start recording a Crossout video. So do not worry, because yes, I'm back, guys. Because I needed some time to figure some things out with the microphone and stuff like that. But that said, I want to thank you guys all very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys all later. See you guys.